guys, welcome to this video.
It's the flights in the city and I'm about to take off. And I'm about to take off. It's the flights in the city and I'm about to take off.
So kind of what I think I want to do for this week's video is talk a little bit about myself, like catch you up on what's going on in my life, and then talk about burnout. It's something that everybody goes through, and I'm gonna like go into specific like definitions of it and signs and symptoms of it and stuff like that, and then we'll talk about how to avoid it. If you don't know, my name is Taryn. I am the COO of Let's Lift. Basically that's a fancy term for, you know, me just making sure that the two CEOs, Darren and Janati, are, you know, doing what they're supposed to be doing, you know, play devil's advocate, give them like the girls' perspective sometimes. I answer a lot of the emails, I like edit captions, that kind of thing. I make like the thumbnails for YouTube. So yeah, so that's like what I do for Let's Lift. What I do in my own life is a bunch of different random things. So I just graduated from Boston College. What am I even trying to say? Oh yeah. So currently I am not in school as a full-time student. So in December I graduated from Boston College with basically a neuroscience degree, but technically it is a bachelor's of science in psychology. I call it, you know, a neuroscience degree to everybody else because that's what I took. Like, I don't really know psychology like that, other than, you know, psych is a natural science, psych is a social science, like freshman year. Those are pretty much the only like psychology based courses. Everything else, like, it was neuroscience. But of course, you know, BC didn't want to actually make a neuroscience major until the year that I leave, and then they want to email everybody telling us about it. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Anyway, basically I have a neuroscience degree. I was pre-med, but because of a concussion in my freshman year of college from rugby, that lasted probably like a year and a half until I saw a neurologist and went home. But like I have a bunch of classes that I need to make up before I can go ahead and try and apply for a master's in medical sciences. And so yeah, right now I'm not a full-time student, but I am taking a bio class at Harvard just to try and get an A from that, and you know, make it look good on my resume and my transcript or whatever. So yeah, making up that class, and then I have like a couple other classes I have to make up before I can go and apply. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm also working part-time as an EMT for Cataldo. It's a private ambulance company in Boston. I'm also working at HealthWorks, like that vlog that you guys saw. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I was modeling for them. But yeah, I work front desk at that gym because I need a gym membership. And it's pretty cool because like we don't just get memberships to HealthWorks, we get to Gym It and Republic and where else? New Balance Fitness Gym. So it's really nice. And then I actually just picked up a babysitting gig just for some extra untaxed money. That's about it. Just hang out with Janati and Darren and all of our friends, and you know, try and stay sane and study and get my A. And the whole reason that I brought up this, you know, burnout thing is because like a few weeks ago I was like going through it with burnout, and it just made me like, I don't know, I had to do some research on like how to get myself out of it. And I know like a lot of my friends and family are going through the same thing or have in the past, and so I just wanted to be a help and, you know, give you guys a little, you know, assistance. First I'm gonna like read this full definition that they have of burnout. Okay, so on mindtools.com they have this little article about avoiding burnout and maintaining a healthy and successful career. And obviously I don't have a career at the moment, but eventually I will, and you know, I'm going to be able to utilize these tips. But it's also not even for people, it's not only just for people who are dealing with career burnout. It could be, you know, relationship burnout, regular job burnout, not even your career, but like, you know, the job that you go to and while you're building your career. It could be school, anything. So it says burnout, 2 definitions. 1, a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion caused by long-term involvement in emotionally demanding situations. And then the second one says a state of fatigue or frustration brought about by devotion to a cause, way of life, or relationship that failed to produce the expected reward. And basically that just means that you feel like you're giving so much of yourself and exhausting yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and the work that you're putting in isn't producing a reward, the expected reward. It's not fulfilling you enough in order to, you know, for you to be able to sustain that lifestyle. And even if you love what you're doing, sometimes you're gonna get burnt out. And I know a lot of like entrepreneurs say that like burnout's inevitable, like always go, go, go. And like in our society, it's kind of like you work till you die, like work yourself to death, like sleep when I'm dead. And I'm the worst at that. I'm so bad at that. I'll like make my schedule so that every day it's slam-packed with like, slam-packed, jam-packed? Whatever. It's like packed with events. Like I never give myself any time to just, you know, decompress, meditate, whatever, you know, no me time. It's like I'll go from one job to the other, or I'll go from work to class, and then in the middle I'm studying. And, you know, like even when I'm commuting, I'm on the train, I'm like reading something like an article or studying or making a study guide or making flashcards. Like I never give myself any time where I'm just, you know, not doing anything. And it can be really exhausting sometimes, and it catches up to me for sure. And I'm learning, like as I'm growing older, obviously like my main goal for this is that I'm trying to learn to be a more time efficient and like nicer person to myself before I get to med school, because I know it's already so emotionally and like intellectually demanding that I'm gonna like destroy myself, like keep going at the same speed that I am now. So you're gonna see me look up my phone a few times. I did write some notes down in my planner, but yeah, hold on one second. Oh, so I wanted to read some of the everyday signs that you're on the road to burnout. So it said you may be on the road to burnout if every day is a bad day, if caring about your work or home life seems like a total waste of energy, if you're exhausted all the time.
The majority of your day is spent on tasks you find either mind-numbingly dull or overwhelming, or if you feel like nothing that you do makes a difference or is appreciated.
And some of the physical signs of a burnout is feeling tired or drained all the time. You have a lower immune system, so you might be getting sick, frequent headaches or muscle pain, change in appetite or sleep habits. Emotional signs of burnout is sense of failure and self-doubt, feeling helpless, trapped, defeated, detached, feeling alone in the world, lack of motivation. And then behaviorally, you can start withdrawing from your responsibilities, withdrawing from your family, isolating yourself, procrastinating, so you take longer to get things done, binge eating, or even, you know, on the other side of that spectrum, not reducing your food but restricting your food, drugs or alcohol to cope, taking your frustration out on others, or, you know, skipping work or school, or, you know, being super late and not caring. It's a little bit different than stress. So with stress, I guess, so they have like this cute little chart, yeah, whatever, and basically it says, actually I'm definitely just gonna take a screenshot of it so that Janati can put it on the screen for you guys. But basically it says, like, with stress, like, you feel urgent and hyperactive, while with burnout you feel hopeless and helpless. Stress, you have a loss of energy. With burnout, you have a loss of motivation, ideals, hope. stress can lead to anxiety, while burnout leads to detachment and depression. With stress, like, your primary damage is physical, like you're running yourself into the ground. So of course, you know, you might get thin, you're forgetting to eat, that kind of thing, or you're just like extremely exhausted. But with burnout, it's definitely more of a mental thing. So you're emotionally drained, emotionally damaged. And yeah. Hold on 1 second. So what was causing burnout in my personal life was, I guess, kind of just like it was like an after the fact, after graduation. So for the past like 4.5 years, I've just been going nonstop. Christmas break would be, you know, me going on service trips, leading service trips to different countries, having to, you know, organize all that, be responsible for other people. I wasn't going home, so, you know, I was homesick. I spent the summers taking classes at BC to try and catch up, since I was already a semester late, and, you know, having to take different classes. My own major had so many credit requirements, and then on top of that, I also had to take the pre-med requirements. And so to jam that into 4 years was a lot, and so I did end up taking summer class every year except for the summer after freshman year. And when I graduated, I just like immediately, like, so I graduated in December, and then January I started an MCAT class, and then I started my bio class at Harvard. Like, specifically for my MCAT class, it's so stressful to study for the MCAT, because no matter what, even if you did amazing, I got A's in every pre-med like required class, you would still feel unprepared, because there's so much material. It's an 8-hour exam. Like, there's so much to remember, so many like tips and tricks to mastering this exam, and you just feel like unaccomplished, overwhelmed, that kind of thing naturally. I'm not planning on taking the MCAT for a little while. I think I only have to take the GRE for the master's program that I'm looking into, and so I kind of want to, you know, push it back and really study for it. But I did take the class because I wanted, well, one, BC was giving discounted classes, and I didn't know how long I was going to be in the area for, but also because I just wanted to get a look at it and get the materials and be able to study, you know, for at least the next year on my own. That class actually ends in 11 days and we have a cumulative final, so that's amazing. But yeah, so I spent my week working twice a week at Cataldo, and then twice a week taking night classes at BC for the MCAT class, twice a week taking night classes at Harvard for that bio course. And I had just started my job at Cataldo, and it was really stressful having to go through the orientation and third ride time, and I was just so stressed all the time. Like, I was anxious every day that I went to work, because like, as an EMT, like, people's lives are in my hands. I am pulling up to people's houses on their worst day ever and having to help them through an emergency and follow protocols that I wasn't familiar with. I mean, I learned them in the class, but you don't grow up knowing them. It's not something that's like instinctual. It's how to be an EMT. I know a lot of like things about the body. I know a lot of medical things just because that's what I've always been interested in. But when it comes to applying them, it's never textbook. So like, I did all this reading for the class, and like, I knew so much about diabetic emergencies and allergic reactions and strokes and all that, and, you know, the signs, symptoms, how to handle them. But when you get into a real life situation and a real life emergency where there's police officers running around, there's firefighters running around, family members crying, it's so much. It's overstimulating. And I haven't even had a case that's true. I like haven't been in one of those high stress situations yet, but I was just so anxious that at any point dispatch could send me to one of those situations, and how do I know if I'm ready? And like, I haven't even taken the oath to do no harm yet, but that's just the energy that I'm on. Like, I never want to do anything to harm any one of my patients, and so I was just so stressed all the time between my classes, between starting work. And I was making myself sick. I was getting sick all the time, and then I realized that, so like, my MCAT class ended, and it was just my bio class that I have to worry about. And then I realized that our lectures were recorded and that I could, you know, get them on Canvas, and that was it for me, which was such a trap, bro. So it takes me like an hour or like 45 minutes on if I take the train and the bus to Harvard from where I live, or if I go down to like where Gennady works and just take one bus, it takes me about 35 minutes. But like, I'm lazy, and I'm not really not about this public transportation life. Like, I grew up in Texas where we drive everywhere, and I just got a car, so naturally, you know, that's what I wanted to do. But so yeah, that long commute kind of just encouraged me to not go to class. And then on top of, you know, like that, on top of me being just so stressed and anxious all the time, I just decided that I didn't want to go to classes anymore. Like, not on any like crazy thing, because Gennady would never let me just stop going to classes. But, you know, I'd be like, oh, like, it's raining, you know, I don't feel like standing at the bus stop, I'm just gonna, you know, watch it online. And then I'd never watch it online, and like I never got behind on like my homework or anything, because I, like, in the back of my mind, I know that I need an A, and I just didn't have the time to, you know, I guess rectify or try and make up for any mistakes that I made in terms of like not turning in homework on time, not doing my quizzes well, that kind of thing. So other than having to cram for the exams, I didn't really see many consequences to this burnout that I was experiencing, but that's because I had to nip it in the bud. And so I'm gonna, you know, read you this little list of ways to avoid burnout, and, you know, talk about each one a little bit. So yeah, I feel like the first thing that you have to do is understand your breaking point. So for me, my breaking point was just like years on top of years of not giving myself a break, and then being like shoved into so many high stress situations all at the same time. Like in January, like I said, I started 2 classes and a brand new career as an EMT. And that just did so much. Like, nothing really dashed my confidence, but I like talked myself into being underconfident. Like, I talked myself into being anxious, and that, you know, patients were gonna die because of me, and that, like, oh my god, I didn't have time to study this certain type of emergency. I was just so worked up. And now that I know how I get, I need to understand that when, you know, I'm looking to not go to classes, or I'm making excuses to not study, and, you know, drinking a lot, or just trying to hang out with everybody. Yeah, so the first part is just understanding your breaking point. You need to, you know, kind of reassess yourself, reevaluate yourself, and figure out exactly, you know, what stresses you, what, you know, and some stress is healthy. It means that, you know, you're doing what you have to do, and unless your time management is just shit, which causes stress, and you need to get it together, you're gonna probably be a little bit stressed. It just usually means that you care about what you're doing. But yeah, so understanding like when you get to the point of like normal stress, and then, you know, you start crossing over into the burnout where it's unhealthy, where you're avoiding certain tasks, like so yeah, you need to figure out what's causing that, what your specific symptoms are, and then, you know, work to get rid of that. Well, once you've figured out, you know, what's causing your burnout and where your breaking point is, then you can start doing some things to fix that. So one of the things it says is take a vacation and fully unplug. So what they mean by unplug, so you can take a vacation and, you know, the whole time you're worried about your job, you bring your laptop, you bring your phone, and if you're, you know, somebody who's a social media persona, you're, you know, involved in your engagement groups, you're making sure that you're taking pictures and videos for content, you're, you know, doing research on what hashtags are, you know, current and which ones you'd be able to show up on the first page for, you know, doing likes and follow, unfollow, and tracking. There's just so much in social media that if you decide to go on a vacation and you don't unplug from all that, you're not doing anything different than your regular life. You're gonna come back and feel just as stressed as you did before because you didn't make any of those changes. So if you do take a vacation to, you know, help fix your burnout and rejuvenate yourself, you need to put your phone away. You need to just be present and, you know, focus on yourself. Give yourself and your mind a break and just be there. Be where you are. Be with who you went on your vacation with. Enjoy, you know, the different scenery. If you know, take a vacation from work and you just go home, get off your computer. Don't check your work email. Don't check your phone. Just do what you like to do and give yourself, your body, your mind, all of that a break because you deserve that break. Next thing it says is schedule some free time, which I am so bad at, but I need to be better. And because I do schedule my whole life, I think scheduling free time is actually a really good idea. I try and take at least one day off a week, and usually I end up doing something like walking a dog for money or studying or whatever, and so I don't really give myself a day of, you know, just pure enjoyment for Taryn. But I don't think I even need a whole day. That just sounds unproductive to me. But what I can do is schedule an hour between tasks to just not be on my phone, not be doing anything except maybe watching Netflix or listening to some music, taking a nap, which is my next point. Take a nap. Sleep is so important for your brain and your body to function. It's ridiculously important. And I only get like probably 3 to 4 hours, maybe like 6 on a good day, but my body will wake me up. I'm really bad at sleeping. I've dealt with insomnia, which is something that I was dealing with during this point of burnout. It's just too much going on in my head. I get bad at sleeping before exams. So yeah, me and sleep, I have a struggle with it. But napping is so important. So a full REM cycle is 90 minutes. So if you get a 90-minute nap in, you're gonna feel amazing afterwards. But it's not always necessary and it's not always, you know, feasible. So if you can't get that long of a nap, try, you know, 30 minutes, a power nap during your lunch break or as soon as you come home from work, and it'll just, you know, like I said, it rejuvenates you. It's a power nap. It'll give you the energy that you need and it'll give your mind just a break, and it's amazing. Change your environment. So when I told you that I took my laptop and my planner and everything I needed and I got about this dark house and into the sunshine, I went to a couple cafes. I just listened to music and sipped some coffee. Actually, I think it was chai tea. Okay, y'all, so I'm having issues with this camera. It keeps turning off and saying that it's overheating, which probably means that it's tired of me talking to it. So I'm just gonna run through these points and, you know, kind of touch on a little bit of them, but, you know, be, I guess, quicker. So what I ended on before was changing your environment. And sometimes when things get so mundane that you're seeing the same thing, same people, same environment all the time, it, like, you know, it's not working for you anymore. So one of the best things to do is just change up your environment. So it could be as simple as, you know, grabbing your laptop and doing work from a different environment like I did, like a cafe outside. You know, the sun helps with all that. It makes you happier. What else? If, you know, you're used to studying at home or in your room, go to the library, go to a park. Yeah, that kind of thing. So change up your environment. Exercise. Exercise is so important. You know, as you know, lift to lift. I definitely believe that. It gets your endorphins going, you know, your heart rate's up. Like, your body just loves to exercise. It's good for it, you know. So yeah, exercising will definitely help break it up. Like, even if you hate exercising, you're going to feel better after you exercise. Another one is be mindful. So throughout the day, you can just go. But if you don't give yourself a chance to detach and, you know, regroup, you're gonna end up burning out for sure. Reorganize. So probably like halfway through the semester, I always just stop using my planner. I just get too busy. I just don't care about, like, I'll still plan in my Google calendars, but like I'm not really planning out my day and being like mindful and smart about my time. And so reorganizing is a great way to, whether that's like folding all your clothes as soon as you do them and putting them away, making up your bed before you get up, as soon as you get up in the morning, cleaning out your room, cleaning out, you know, the storage unit that you've been meaning to for the past few weeks. Another one is find a hobby. So I like to paint, I like to play music, I like to listen to music, and so sometimes when, you know, I'm having my me time, it can just turn into me mindlessly scrolling Instagram or Twitter, and I know that that's not the best use of my time, because when I'm done with my me time and I'm like, yo, I really can't spend this much more time doing nothing, I just like feel unfulfilled. And so I know that if I had spent that time, you know, cultivating my craft or you know, whatever it is, I don't know what your hobby is, going to play sports, watching tennis online, learning a new language, whatever it is, it'll spice your life up some. Open up to your friends and family. Like I said, burnout happens to pretty much anyone who has any type of ambition in the world. And so I guarantee your parents have felt it before, your older siblings have felt it before, your friends, everybody. And so by opening up to them, like you're allowing yourself to not go through it alone, for one, which is really important. And especially, like they said, one of the signs and symptoms of burnout is to isolate yourself. And so you already want to isolate yourself. You feel like nobody can understand you, you're the only one going through it in the world. And so to, you know, counteract, fight against that, open up and tell somebody that you're struggling, that, you know, you're feeling down, you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't want to put much attention into your work, or, you know, energy, that kind of thing. And I guarantee, one, they're gonna be able to relate and be like, yo, I'm going through the same thing, or last week same thing happened to me. You know, your parents might have some tips on how, you know, they handle it, and it might apply to you. You really never know, but a support system is always a great thing. Cut off negative people. You don't need those toxic people in your life. You really don't. And so when you get on your Twitter feed and all you see is people complaining about this, that, and you're already feeling negative inside, it's just gonna feed into that. And you really don't need that. So the next point and the last point was a positive outlook, and those kind of, you know, feed into each other. So you yourself need to be producing a positive outlook. Wake up and give yourself some affirmations. I'm a bad bitch. I'm smart as hell. Oh my God, I'm about to go get my master's. Ooh, my hair looks good today. Like anything. You just need some positivity. You could look at yourself in the mirror and smile. Smiling, like literally the muscles moving to smile releases endorphins and makes you happier. It's science. It's science. So like I said, last point, cut off negative people and be happy. Be happy is a little, I wouldn't say be happy, be positive. Be positive. All you have to do is take a vacation, take some time for yourself, reorganize, take a nap, get some sleep, find a hobby. Don't mindlessly scroll through Instagram. In fact, if you find yourself obsessing over social media, over how you look, you know, I can't post a picture because I need a filter, I need this, you know, I'm worried about that. Cut it all off. Delete the apps. You'll still be able to log in when, you know, you get your life together. But like social media, your phone, all of this is not as important as your own mental health. So if you're feeling like hopeless, depressed, you know, you can't work, you're being unproductive, you might lose your job because you just don't care about it anymore, you need to be making some changes. Just like I needed to make some changes, and I'm a lot happier. I really am. I only have 11 more days before my final, but I'm all caught up on past material. I went to every single lecture this unit. After that last little mishap, I didn't do as bad on my exam as I thought. And you know, like every day I'm just being reassured by my grades and, you know, patients who are like, oh my God, like I'm so glad that I had you here. All of those things are just, you know, I'm writing them down, I'm taking them to the heart, and I'm like, it's nice that they're telling me this, but I'm also just thinking for myself, like, this is, you know, some positivity that you need in your life. This is what you need to do. This is what worked. This is what didn't work. And so, like I said, it's all about knowing yourself, and that's That's the best I got for avoiding burnout. And not even avoiding burnout, but if it happens, how to get yourself out of it. All right, I love you guys. And this was fun to talk about. And I hope that, you know, I can do more. Like, I've done one on, you know, living a healthy lifestyle and getting organized. But like, mental health is something that I'm really interested in. Like I said, I had that psychology degree. I do believe in mental health. And I just, you know, I want everybody to be good. So if you guys have any questions about how I avoid burnout, how others do, that kind of thing, how Janati and Darren avoid burnout, write them in the comments below. Throw this video a like, because my hair looks good. And if nothing else in this video, you know that my hair looked good and you need to throw me a like. But yeah, aside from that, comment below how you deal with it, any questions about how I deal with it, topics that you want me to talk about in the future. And yeah, thanks guys. Make sure to share this video too and subscribe. Actually, I'm gonna have, ooh, if Jay could do like a, you know, like that Disney Channel thing where I like, and he like writes subscribe out. I don't know if he can do it, but you know, subscribe. If not, put it right here, Jay. Bye y'all.